but my views on abortion are changing, and I'm listening more. You and I have talked a little bit about it, and I'm watching but to try and maybe make sure that I'm getting a full measure of the arguments. And of course, most women watching now will say, what the frick do you know about abortion? No, only women can understand abortion and have the right to talk about abortion. But I think I've got the right to talk about abortion.
We've got the right to talk about abortion because our children they're murdering.
Yes.
Simple as that.
Yes, well, that's...
You have the right to murder my child. I've got the right to talk about it.
And I think that the thing that kind of staggered me, there was an American senator, or forgive me, it may have been I don't know, and she said we've got to ban guns in America. They're the biggest cause. You know, more children are dying as a result of gun violence in America than ever before. Yeah. It's outrageous. It's the biggest cause of death for children in the US. And of course, me, the former progressive, libertarian, liberal person, all that, it's ban gun crime or whatever. Then Jordan Peterson, who we know, he's been quiet for a while, hasn't he? He's not been maybe as visible as he has been.
He's doing stuff online all the time.
Yeah. Came back and said the biggest cause of death for children in the US is not gun violence, it's abortions. Yeah. And the numbers are actually quite staggering. He said, so gun violence, 2,500 people died of gun violence in 2023, I think it is. It might be 2022. 2021. In that year, there were 625,000 abortions. So what he's saying is actually quite interesting. So I'm not kind of instantly reacting and saying, oh, he's right or whatever. What is interesting, and I think what's fascinating to me is a big issue we're facing now in the world is certainly in the Western world is a population implosion, a reduction in population. We're suffering it in the UK. It's rife across Europe. Populations are dwindling. But when I saw those numbers there, which I've never seen before, I didn't actually know or had even asked the question before about number of abortions. 625,000 abortions that's a lot of people. A lot of people who could be populating your country, growing up to contribute to the economy and everything else. So that's the first thing I thought when I saw that. I just thought, we talk about requiring more people, having more immigrants for that, but actually that alone is a massive contributor to the reason populations are declining.
First of all, I don't think population decline is a problem. I think we'll solve it, not an issue. So let's talk about abortion. So you think those numbers are high?
I was shocked when I saw those numbers, yeah.
What's the abortion rate in the UK? Last year, how many babies were killed last year in the UK?
I don't know how many babies were killed. I don't use that phraseology, but I don't know how many abortions happened in the UK in 2023. Yeah, sorry.
So over the last few years, on average, the UK is terminating 250,000 pregnancies.
Oh, right, really?
250,000. Times that...
Per year?
Per year. Times that compared to our population density compared to America.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Yeah.
And we're killing more babies per head of population than the Americans are.
Yeah, because the Americans are, how many are they now? Is it
350 million?
350 million. We're 60 million here, so we're six times. Six times. So 6 times 250 would be 1.5 million a year. So we're actually twice that. We're actually nearly 3 times the rate of abortions in the UK. Why is that?
First, two reasons.
That's a lot of abortions.
First, it's socially acceptable.
Yeah.
And the second reason is it's free. We pay for it.
Yeah.
We pay women. We pay mothers to murder their own children, and the state pays for it.
Yeah. I'm sensing from this that you're more pro-life than pro-choice.
Yes.
I'm sensing. I don't know. So, just call me.
Me
extra sensitive.
I think this is in history. This is going to be seen worse than slavery in the volumes of time.
Really?
This is going to be seen worse than slavery, that we killed our unborn babies. Do any of us look at the Aztecs and not think that they were barbarians, ripping out the hearts of children, or the Polynesians throwing children into volcanoes to worship the gods. We think they're barbaric. We're doing exactly the same thing. We're killing babies in the womb. Now, it's very complicated. No, it can be complicated. So there's many discussions to have along this. The first one is, when is a fetus life? So is it conception? If you think it's conception, then all abortions are murder. If you think it's the heartbeat or brain functions, then you're looking at 6 weeks old. Most abortions are after 6 weeks old. The feminists, and most of this came out because of feminism. The feminists will say when the baby is out of the womb. There's a big push now to have abortions up to the day of birth. Because...
Yeah, that is happening now.
Because all their arguments lead to that. Because if it's not about brain function or a heartbeat or feeling pain, because all these things happen within 6 weeks. So then, if that's not your argument, then why not abort it up to birth? And then we need to look at people saying, well, the mother's life is more important. And I agree. If there's a medical emergency and we have a mother, an adult, and we have a fetus or a baby or a 2-month-old baby in the womb or a 9-month-old baby in the womb, and it's a choice between one of these survives, well, that's an horrendous situation to be in. And in those 1,000,000 to 1 chance that's the choice, then you save the woman's life every time. I get that. Sometimes there's really difficult decisions to be made, and there is no right decision to be made. It's just different degrees of evil or being horrendous or not knowing what to do. I get that. But I think we need to have a whole podcast session on this because it is complicated and there's lots of lies been told about this. So I think, from what I can remember, prostitution was made legal in the UK in 1968. And in that year, something like 20,000 people had abortions in 1968. Roll on 50 years, we now have so much more contraceptive. We have the pill, all free in the UK, get it all on the national health, but yet we're killing 250,000 babies a year. That can't be right.
It seems a massive number, that. So you and I as men are pontificating on abortion and all that. What's your response to a woman who says, Nick, which I suspect my wife might say, Nick,
yeah,
you have no right to talk about what women can do with their bodies, basically, and it's their choice to decide whether they're going to keep an unborn baby or not.
Yeah, I would say you're completely wrong. I have every
surprised
right.
Me there.
I have every right for many, many reasons. The first right is you're killing a man's baby. Yeah, you're killing a man's baby. Well, if the man, you wouldn't be pregnant.
Yes.
Why wasn't the woman using contraceptive? All these things. If she still doesn't want the baby, do you know what the queues are to adopt a baby in this country?
Yes, massive.
Massive.
In fact, my sister-in-law
Yep.
had to adopt from China.
Exactly. So again, I'd make that illegal. Adopting foreign babies, I'd make that illegal. But
so you've upset my sister-in-law now as well, as well as my wife.
Oh yeah,
that's fine.
That's fine.
Okay. I'll make sure this episode isn't. Why would you make that illegal? To force them to get babies from the UK?
For several reasons. It's a type of slavery. We're going to go around the world shopping for a kid. I find that horrendous. You're going to take a kid from another part of the world and bring it here. The other thing is, since we've had IVF treatment, the amount of children being adopted and fostered now is dramatically reduced, and it's inversely proportionate to the amount of IVF. So as IVF's gone up, the amount of abortions and fostering has gone down because people have a choice. I'd rather have my own child.
Yeah.
Now, what I understand that, and that's a natural thing to want your own child. I get that. But that means we're leaving hundreds of thousands of children without parents in this country who are in our social care system, who are being abused, being raped. Our social care system for young people is horrendous.
Yeah.
You know, many criminals come out of that.
Yeah. You have a particular knowledge of this, yeah.
So as a decent person living in our society and you want a child, we have children that need fathers and mothers who are suffering and don't get any love. That's where you get your child from. You just don't go to a new Gucci shop in China and buy one off the shelf.
Of course it didn't happen like that, but anyway, yeah.
So that's why I don't agree with that. But so women who want to go full term, give your baby up for adoption. Somebody will take it. People will fight you to take it. There's lots and lots of reasons why we shouldn't be doing it. And another reason we don't talk about is regret. You speak to women who admit they've had an abortion. Most women won't admit they've had an abortion because deep down inside they know they've done wrong. They know they've done evil. Most women won't tell you. And the ones you get to know when you speak to people and they tell you they've had an abortion, especially when they've got another kid now and speak about it, and they're hurting inside because they've got a new kid and they're going, I killed the first version of Debbie. I killed a little version of Tommy, because they would have grown to be like Tommy or Rebecca or Sandra.
Yeah.
And the mental pain that causes, because they know it's wrong.
Yeah.
But when you give humans an easy out on something that's complicated, most people will take it. That's what our welfare benefit system is. We'll give you an easy out. Don't want to work, lazy. We'll give you an option and wonder why millions take it. And that's what abortion is. Instead of facing the consequences of your actions and then taking responsibility, we'll give you an easy out. Murder your own child. And women embrace it and go, oh, I'm a modern woman. It's the shame of the modern West. It's a shame. I foresee in our lifetime, if we live old enough, there's going to be riots on the streets. And people will be pulling down statues, and they'll have banners and placards, and on those placards will be BLM, and it won't stand for Black Lives Matter. It'll stand for Both Lives Matter.
That's good. You've been waiting to say that for a while.
I've said that before, yeah.
I'm just conscious of the time. We're at 1 hour 13 now, so I think we'll end this episode, as we always like to end on a high.
On a high. Yeah. Women killing babies.
It's the...
Before we end on that, let me tell you two more quick things.
Yeah.
The first thing is, if you're a woman and you're pregnant and I punch you in the stomach and kills the baby and you abort it,
yeah,
it's called child destruction.
Oh, really?
And you can get life imprisonment for it.
But doctors can't.
So, I'll talk about
Sorry,
that.
go on.
So, first of all, law states it's a baby, a child, because it's called child destruction, and you can get life imprisonment for it. So why is it illegal for me to punch you and kill my child, but it's legal for you to kill my child? So I'm not saying we ever should do that. The man should be hung who does that to a woman.
Yeah.
Now, doctors, when you're having an abortion, the baby has to be killed in the womb.
Yes, otherwise they get in trouble. Yeah.
Well, it's murder.
Yes.
If the baby comes out and is alive and you don't try to save it or you kill it outside the womb, it's called murder. Now, late-term abortions, so not when you just take a tablet when it's like 6 weeks, but a late-term abortion, the doctor has to go inside the woman with a syringe, find the heart of the baby and inject poison into the beating heart of the baby, and then get forceps, break the baby up inside, break its arms off, crush its skull and take it out piece by piece. And that's a late-term abortion.
Thanks for sharing that with me.
It's disgusting, absolutely disgusting. And people need to know this.
Yeah.
And the fight back and the pushback for this abortion craze we have over the last 50 years is coming to an end. More and more people are talking about it online. Did you like that video? I think you did. Hit the bell, give it a big thumbs up, comment, and don't forget I'm standing for election in Oldham East and Saddleworth So please share this video, speak to your family and friends if you live in Greater Manchester, and if you live in Oldham East and Saddleworth, make sure you vote for me. Catch you soon.